And it's Booker T, 6-time world champion, my man Brad Gilmore from Manscaped. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is here. And let me tell you, it's got futuristic tendencies included in this bundle, guys. Brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose and hair trimmer, and essentials aftercare products like the Crop Soother, the Ball Aftershave Lotion, and the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant, and 2 free gifts. Oh, yes!
That's right, Book. Their 5th-generation lawnmower features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. And did I mention? It's waterproof, too. Manscaped, they did us a favor, Book. All the listeners of the Hall of Fame, and they threw in 2 free gifts, the Boxers 2.0 and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. Resolutions may come and go, but a well-groomed you is here to stay with Manscaped's latest and greatest.
Yeah, and start the new year off right, because when you look good, you feel good. Manscaped help you sculpt the best version of yourself for the year ahead. New year and new you, and definitely a new trimmer. Manscaped got your grooming resolutions covered. Guys, get 20% off and free shipping with the code Booker at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code Booker. Happy New Year to your balls. Sucker! And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
You know, let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this: chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com and use promo code and receive your first month absolutely free, man. Visit BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, you know, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Hey, are you ready to elevate your game and your style? Hey, this is Booker T, and together with Brad Gilmore, we're here to introduce you to something exceptional from PXG, their line of new golf apparels. Now, you already know PXG's reputation for creating some of the most high-quality, high-performance golf clubs out there. Now they've taken the same dedication to excellence and applied it to their latest apparel line. And let me tell you, they absolutely nailed it.
I've had the pleasure of wearing PXG's apparel out on the course, and I'm genuinely impressed. The quality, top-notch. The style, unmatched. The fit, like it was tailored just for me. These pieces aren't just designed for performance on the greens. They're crafted to make you look and feel your best, whether you're sealing deals in the office or enjoying a night out on the town.
And from the sleek polos to the comfortable but yet stylish pants, from the versatile quarter zips to the cozy sweaters, every item invites you guys to play all day long.
That's right, BT. PXG has something for everyone. We're talking about pants, polos, sweaters, hats, quarter zips, joggers, jackets, skirts, everything you could possibly want. You know, Book, we got some PXG gear in the mail, and I gotta tell you, I love the PXG hat. It fits just right, and that silky smooth PXG polo they sent got me feeling right out on the course. I feel like I get a couple extra yards out of my drive, and it also works real well in an office setting. I don't feel out of place, but I feel as comfortable as possible. So you tell them, BT, how can they get this PXG gear like we got?
Now, here's your chance to experience the PXG difference. Don't just play the game, elevate it. Visit pxg.com/Booker T. Use the code, man, Booker T, and step your game up on and off the course.
Again, elevate your style game on and off the course with PXG Spring Summer 2024 collection. Head over to pxg.com/Booker T and use the code Booker T to save 10% on all apparel.
PXG, nobody makes golf's apparel quite like it. Hey, are you aware of how exposed your personal information is online? Hi, I'm Booker T alongside Brad Gilmore, and we've delved into the digital realm to discover just how much our privacy data is out there for the taking. You'd be surprised, or maybe even alarmed at what we found. We did a simple Google search of our name and email addresses, and the results were eye-opening. Our personal information, from full name to home addresses and even health records, was all laid to bear. It's unsettling to think that this information can be sold to data brokers, making us a target for scammers and spammers.
And Book, that's where Aura comes in. A service we've both been using and genuinely endorse. Aura scans these data brokers and reveals who's selling your information, then helps you opt out automatically. When I checked my Aura account, I was shocked to see the number of brokers that had my details on file. But it's not just about reducing spam. This is about safeguarding our digital lives. Hackers can exploit this information to breach our social media, bank accounts, and more. Aura's comprehensive protection, which includes antivirus, VPN, password management, and even identity theft insurance, offers a robust shield against these intrusions.
Think of it this way. You wouldn't secure just the front door of your home and leave the back door wide open, right? That's why relying on a piecemeal solution isn't enough. Aura provides an all-encompassing security suite that's always on, ensuring my peace of mind.
We're not just talking about protection, we're talking about convenience. All of these features come in one package, easy to set up without the hassle of juggling multiple apps.
So, if you value your privacy as much as we do, consider giving Aura a try. Guys, visit aura.com/Booker T to start your 2-week free trial. It's time to take control of your online presence and secure your digital world.
Yo, what's happening? Houston, this is the place to be, and I am TMC in the place to be with my man Brad Gilmore and the one and only, the champ, the man Booker T. So let's get it popping.
Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. Join the 6-time World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, and WWE NXT announcer, Booker T. Booker T. Alongside his right-hand man, the BOAT, Brad Gilmore. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
This is the Hall of Fame
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Live from Las Vegas, here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Boom! Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, and we're coming to you live from the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino, getting ready for a huge fight going down this weekend. Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fandom. The co-main event, Rolly Romero versus Isak Pitbull Cruz. Two major fights going down, and I can't wait for the action. But before we get there, Brad, how you feel, man? How you feel?
I'm feeling good, bud. It's good to be back in Las Vegas as always. Ready for another fight. Ready for, you know what I started calling, like, well, because, you know, everybody knows, if y'all have listened to this show, you know we have a Vegas tradition that we always like to do. There's a particular place where we like to go. We're not going to say what it is, because what if the people end up being there? We don't, you know, we could not get our table if everybody shows up at the same time. Man, but my point is, I started calling that the after party. Yeah. So I'm ready for the after party. But I'm glad to be here live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and Houston, Texas.
Yes, indeed, man. Like I said, big fight going down Saturday night, live from T-Mobile Arena. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to get shut out. Sebastian Fandom, he's stepping in on 2 weeks' notice, coming off of a loss, actually, to Brian Mendoza, big knockout loss. But this is a fight to get back on track. The 6'6" towering Inferno had a 2022, actually, fight of the year with Erickson, the Hammer, Lubin. It went down, man. And I'm going to tell you, what a fight, because that was the fight that Fandom really showed me that he's serious about his game, because Erickson Lubin took a beat in that fight. He took a beating like I've never seen a man get beaten before. Actually, my wife said that, poor baby. That's what she was saying. And then
that's when you know it's bad.
No, that's when you know it's bad. And then Erickson Lubin let go a right hand that put Fandom on his seat, and people thought that was it. But the 6'6" towering Inferno got up off the canvas and stopped Erickson Lubin in the following round. Fight of the year 2022, guys. Go back and check it out. But Tim Tszyu is definitely a monster. Talking about Brian Mendoza. Brian Mendoza actually won the fight against Fandom by knockout, and like I say, got the fight with Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu went through him like a knife going through butter. That's why this matchup, that matchup, that main event is going to be so good. But the co-main event, Rolly Romero versus Isak Pitbull Cruz. Now, we saw Pitbull, many times inside that square circle, and he's not one to mess with. This guy, he easily could be champion right now. He easily could, but the competition is just that tough. I actually, if I had to pick a winner in that fight, I'm going to be going with Isak Pitbull Cruz, because he's not going to quit. He's not going to find himself wondering, what plan should I, go with or anything like that. I feel like Rolly Romero is going to do what he does in just about every fight that he fights, and that's gonna be walking Pitbull down, trying to land big shots throughout, and that is, the recipe for disaster, just like with Tank. He walked right into a big shot. And I think with Isak Pitbull Cruz, you could easily run into a big shot. So co-main event, main event, as well as the American Dream, the Cuban American Dream, Arish Landilada, at 40 years old, man, still going strong. He's going to be on the card as well. So, guys, this is a fight, like I said, you do not want to miss out. You do not want to get shut out. You want to be inside T-Mobile Arena. You want to be checking this thing out.
And if you can watch it at T-Mobile Arena, PBC on Prime Video is where you're going to be able to find it. And action is going to proceed to pay-per-view with a live stream for free beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's 5 o'clock H-Town time, featuring the rising and unbeaten middleweight Elijah Garcia taking on the veteran Tyrone Davis in the main event on that undercard. So you can get that for free, as well as a couple of other fights that are going to be opening the stream, including one for the interim WBC Super Welterweight title. But Book, let me ask you this, though. Between Tszyu and Fandom, were you more excited for
Tszyu?
Zoo. Okay, this is how I'm from the South. Forgive me. But were you more excited for this matchup or when Keith Thurman was in the mix?
You know, Thurman definitely brought something to the table for me because his last fight with Mario Barrios, he showed me so much in that fight, especially after coming off of a long layoff, especially after coming off a layoff due to an injury. And then to step back in there and mix it up with Barrios and really take it to Barrios like I've really never seen too many people do. Even Tank didn't take it to him like that. He stopped him, but I thought Keith Thurman came back and really schooled Barrios. So I'm a little taken aback by Keith Thurman not being in this fight. I was definitely looking forward to Keith Thurman taking on Tim Tszyu. But there again, on 2 weeks' notice, I've watched Sebastian Fandor go out and do his work. And I'm going to tell you, man, this guy throws – excess of 100 punches around. You know what I mean? His hands never stop. I mean, he's got dynamite in both hands. He can bust you up and scar you up and really make it a rough night for his opponent. And the size difference is what I'm more intrigued with more than anything. 6'6", 154 pounds, man, with dynamite in both hands. This thing's gonna be good. Tim Tszyu is gonna be fighting uphill all night, and like Brian Mendoza was fighting with Fandor, he was fighting uphill all night, and then he finally landed an overhand looping right hand that came, from the heavens, man, and got that boy on Dream Street and got him up out of there. But my thing is this, man, it's going to be a great fight. Either one of these fights, Rolly, Pitbull, Tszyu, Fandora, either one of these fights could be candidate for fight of the year, man.
You're feeling that strong.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say, Book, about these fights here in Las Vegas, right? You know what they say?
What's that?
You don't know what they say?
What do they say?
You should know what they say by now. The road
to the throne
is long.
Oh yeah, man. This one is high stakes. Fighting for the WBO vacant. Actually, WBO championship and the vacant WBA. Am I correct?
WBC
championship. So
154 pounds.
I got all this stuff in my head.
But
all this stuff is like in my head.
What's crazy about 6'6", you said, and at 154 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, that's skin and bone pretty much there, Book. I mean, 6'6".
Yeah. Just think about it. He's taller than Lennox Lewis.
Oh, good Lord.
A heavyweight.
And Lennox. Yeah, for people who don't know, fought at heavyweight.
He's taller than Lennox Lewis. And
he's fighting at 154.
He's fighting at 154 pounds. But this guy has an abundance of skill. I don't see this fight being anything other than action-packed for anybody that's going to be tuning in, guys. So, like I say, for me, I'm just glad to be back here in Vegas, getting ready to go out here and get it done on Saturday night. T-Mobile Arena is going down. We got good seats in the highs, too. We got great seats. So, for me, I'm excited, man, overly excited.
So Sebastian, as you say, is sitting right now at a plus 370, and Tim is at minus 525. Kind of an overwhelming favorite there.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I'm trying to figure out what are the odds makers seeing that I'm not seeing.
And that's the DraftKings Sportsbook, by the way.
I'm just wondering what the odds makers see in Tim Tszyu that I don't see. I know he has a stellar record, 24-0, 17 knockouts. I know that. But one thing about the fight game, I know it's going to be on Saturday night, but, they say any given Sunday, man, given Sunday, anything can happen. When one land, one big shot, I'm sure Sebastian Fandor, would have thought he would have still had his undefeated record if it wasn't for one Brian Mendoza. So the fight game is tricky, man. It's fluid. It moves very, very fluid, so you got to be on your toes. So for me, this fight is going to be one for the ages, like I say, going down to T-Mobile Arena. Bell time. What's bell time? 7 o'clock bell time?
Probably 7.
Get in the house, man. Get in the house. You don't want to miss out.
Tickets still available, too, at AXS.com.
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's what it is.
Yeah. 7 in Houston.
Yeah.
7 in Houston. So you don't want to miss out in watching this fight live in living color, PBC on Prime Video again. And here's the thing, too, about when it's a fight where there's a vacant title on the line, but also where you're trying to take a man's title. doesn't that give you a little extra motivation? I feel like the guy who wants to take the title is a little bit hungrier than the one who's defending it.
I think that cloak of invincibility, champions advantage. But I really feel like Sebastian Vandur is coming into this fight still somewhat feeling like he's champion or should be champion. That fight with Brian Mendoza, I must say, Sebastian Vandur was beating the brakes off this kid. No way anybody saw that fight ending in any other way than Brian Mendoza getting beaten to a pulp, and Mendoza rose to the occasion. He landed a big shot, and that's one thing about the fight game. They always say you have a puncher's chance. You always have that one shot that you can land to put you right back in the game. So for me, I feel like Vandur's got a chip on his shoulder. I'm sure Vandur is looking at the odds and thinking, what are these people thinking? Just like I am, and he's going to have something to prove in this fight, and the only way he can prove it is by going out there and beating Tim Tszyu, and if he stop him, oh my God, on 2 weeks' notice. 2 weeks' notice.
Oh yeah, I mean,
2 weeks' notice.
Well, that's an interesting point to bring up. A couple things. One, the first question I want to ask is it odd in your mind, or the odds? Do those help motivate a fighter, or do you think that hurts them, like hurts their mentality? Do you know what I mean? Like, if everybody in the world's saying, you're the underdog, you're the underdog, you're the underdog, do you start to believe maybe I am the underdog, maybe this guy is that much better than me, or do you think it's like, I'm about to show you who the underdog is?
Well, I go back to George Foreman versus Muhammad Ali, and everybody picked Muhammad Ali to get destroyed. Everybody felt like that was the burial of Muhammad Ali, but Muhammad believed in it more than anything. He said, I'm going to go out here and shake up the world. I'm going to shock the world tonight. And I remember watching the movie, and he was walking to the ring, and he looked at all of his people, and he go, why the hell are y'all so sad? I'm the one that's fighting. But now, man, that's the champion's mentality. So I feel like Sebastian Vandur, with all the weight against him, I think that's when someone like that goes out and feel like they got to perform at their highest level.
It's coming, man. I mean, we're just a few days away. The hours are ticking away. Prime Video is where you can find this major fight from PBC. But I think we're coming up on a break here.
Yeah, man. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame, man. We'll be back in a momentum.
ESPN 97.5. This is the Hall of Fame.
On ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Live from Las Vegas, here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Coming to you live from MGM Grand Hotel and Casino. Getting ready for a big fight going down this weekend. PBC, Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Vandur, as well as co-main event Rolando Romero taking on Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Guys, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. But I know you guys want to hear about what we need to, what we want to talk about as far as sports and entertainment. We're talking about the wrestling business, man. There's a lot going on out there in the world of pro wrestling right now. Dynamite had its lowest rating.
Let's talk about it
of the year.
Let me. You mind if I read the story?
Go ahead, set it up. Go ahead and set it up.
So this is from CagesideSeats.com. AEW Dynamite plummets to its worst rating.
Wait a minute. Plummet?
That's what it says. I'm reading the headline.
Okay.
AEW Dynamite plummets to its worst rating in years. And here's the article. Per WrestleNomics, Dynamite netted 747,000 viewers with a .23 rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic. This is the first Dynamite viewership number has dropped below 750,000 since losing last October's Tuesday Night War against NXT. It's the lowest demo rating AEW has drawn since being bumped to a Saturday in 2021. So this is an all-time really low for them, especially this year, but lowest in years is what this says.
What Tony Khan say? How did he spin it?
Did he say something?
I don't know. Did he spin it?
I don't know.
Normally Tony will say, something to try to make it sound like it wasn't that bad.
You hadn't said anything about that.
It's crazy, man. With the addition of Monet, I thought things would definitely be, a little bit better. I thought Monet was a good fit. But
she is a good fit.
No, but my thing is this: as far as the women's division, adding Monet, and I said this, adding Monet is not going to really spike a whole lot because it's nothing really from a storyline perspective being done with the women other than with
Toni Storm.
Seemed like everybody else is just having matches. I remember when Ruby Soho came over, it was like a big buzz. Everybody was buzzing like crazy, like Ruby Soho had a Monet buzz when she first came in.
It was very excited. People were very excited.
I'm serious. And now we don't see Ruby Soho that often on AEW TV. So I think there again, we've talked about it as far as storylines. Of course, the storyline with Edge and Christian. That's a storyline.
That's a storyline.
But I'm not gonna. Of course, Edge is my boy. Christian's my boy. I can't say anything negative about those guys. But just to be honest, people have been watching Christian and Edge for quite some time.
Yes, 97.
Yeah, it's not like it's something new. It's not like it's something, special that we're seeing for the first time. Is what I'm saying. Like I said, I don't want to knock those guys in any way, shape, or form.
Well, that's going to be the headline.
Well,
Booker T slams Edge and Christian.
Well, I mean, they can say whatever the hell they want to say, but I'm just making my point.
No, I hear what you're saying.
That guys like that have been around for quite some time, so it's hard to get people really, really that excited about, what we're going to be seeing with these guys. That's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, if you look at, here's the trend of the numbers, if you want to know the trend here. So let's just start from, let's say, last month, February 28th, 822,000. Then March the 6th, 779,000. March the 13th, which I believe was the big business show, or was that March 20th? I'll find out. But March 13th was 801,000. March 20th was 800,000. So whichever one it was, I mean, it's essentially the same number. And then this last one, 747,000.
That's a continuously drop.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's a downward spiral.
But you know what? I'm not trying to shoot him some bail because it's kind of been like this for the last year. They haven't posted over 1 million viewers in, some years from what this is showing me, at least not last year at all. From March of last year to March 29th last year to March 29th this year, there hasn't been a show with 1 million viewers. There's been a couple that's been close. But do you think that the WWE being so on fire right now and The Rock being on the shows and Cody being on the shows and CM Punk being back and it's WrestleMania season off the Royal Rumble and the big show in Australia, do you think that has something to do with their lack of interest right now?
Yeah, I think it has a whole lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Not their lack of interest. I just think that the interest in WWE has picked up. I don't think there's any more lack of interest in AEW. I think the interest now in WWE, which I think it is what it is. I mean, it's WrestleMania season.
Yeah.
Everybody, if they got a heartbeat and they were a kid in this and wanted to be in this business, the one thing that they wanted to be a part of was WrestleMania. I don't care what nobody say. They wanted to be a part of WrestleMania. And in that time of the year, everybody, I don't care if you're just a casual fan, you come to WrestleMania, you might be hooked forever because it has that kind of a feeling, it has that kind of an impact. So, yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. But the storyline, this Bloodline storyline, added addition, the final boss, The Rock. People can say what they want to say about The Rock, the part-timers. But if I got a part-timer like The Rock, want to show up to WrestleMania, I'm going to put him on the card. I'm going to get him in a match. I'm going to find something for him, because that's star power, not just star power from this wrestling business, but star power from Hollywood, what he's been doing for his last, 20 years? Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I think, that right there, speaks volume. And I think it definitely is hindering what they're doing over there.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Maybe post-WrestleMania they'll be able to turn this around because I will say I'm a little bit surprised based on what I thought the draw of Mercedes Moné was. Mm-hmm. Personally, because I thought that's a big star. in my mind.
Yeah.
And then you, at the same time, they're wetting the beaks of the audience with Okada and Will Ospreay, and Swerve Strickland's coming into his own, and you think that would be enough to at least get
Who?
I mean, just that triumphant of
Who think that would be enough?
I mean, I would think that would be enough because look,
you think?
Listen, no.
Okay. Before you said you would think, like you was talking to me.
No, like the general you, not the specific you.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But the general you. But even you, like, even you, damn it. No, but look, but my thing is this: at one point, like, AEW was attracting an audience that WWE wasn't attracting. One, a lapsed fan. Two, the more international fan. And so, I don't know.
You know what? We got to take a break, but before we go to break, I'm going to tell you what I think it is. I think it has to do something with the show business. I think it's got to do with one person that got star potential, and that's that boy, Jack Perry. Yeah, stick around. In the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
ESPN 97.5. You are listening to the Hall of Fame
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Live from Las Vegas, here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Booker T, 6-time world champion, along with my man Brad Gilmore. We're coming to you live from the MGM Hotel and Casino, getting ready for a big fight going down this weekend. PBC presents Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fandor, co-main event. Rolly Romero versus Isak Pitbull Cruz, as well as the American Dream, Aris Lara, will be in action. Still going strong at 40 years old, man. Oh, yes, but back to the action, man. Back to what I was talking about. Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Jungle Boy Jack, you think if Jack Perry came back, the ratings might spike? Because
through the roof.
No, when Jack left, the ratings was hot. The ratings was hot. It was the Wembley thing, right? Everybody was excited about Jack Perry. The thing is, Jack Perry right now, he's in Japan.
He's in New Japan, yeah.
The thing is, I was wondering if this was a work.
Because the thing is, they said that he hasn't had any contact with Tony since the incident.
No contact.
Zero.
See, so for me, this is the biggest story in AEW. This is the biggest storyline that's going with this boy, Jungle Boy Jack Perry. So for me, that's star quality, man. When you can get people thinking that this is something that's real, even though we know Jack Perry is working. We know that. But Jack Perry got everybody out there thinking that he's a major, major heel. I like that. You know what? I wouldn't say we. It's companies out there that could use people like Jungle Boy, the heel, Jack Perry. That's what we're going to call him from now.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
What?
I'm just seeing all the headlines. Here's the thing. I think that Jack Perry, yeah, he's a needle mover. He's a needle mover. He could be a needle mover. But, well, the thing is, though, I will say, any joking aside, where we are in wrestling now is you almost have to use what's actually going on, right, in order to get people intrigued. Because so many people are intrigued by what's going on behind the scenes, right? I mean, think about the other guy who's a big draw for them, MJF.
Where's MJF?
He's on the shelf.
Where's MJF?
He's on the shelf.
Is that a storyline?
I don't know.
Is that a storyline? It seems like that could be a storyline.
It's a masterwork.
Because the thing is, normally, when somebody's hurt, you write them out of the show. You write them
off.
All right. But one thing I've noticed about AEW, they try to do things a little
different,
unconventional. They want to try to draw you in a little bit and make you think a little bit. So MJF been gone. The thing is, MJF, he's put up no tweets. He's put up no Instagrams. Mm-hmm. None of that. He's been like radio silent since he left that company. So my thing is, I'm wondering myself, what is MJF up to? Is this that year? Because MJF did say, what, 2024. 2024, 2024, 2024. You people remember 2024? That's what he said. So I don't know what's going on. So don't say Booker T said MJF is getting ready to jump ship. I didn't say that.
You didn't say it. You didn't say it, but it's being said. There's rumors on the internet.
There's rumors on the internet.
That's what people are saying.
People are saying
people
MJF is getting ready to jump ship.
Now, here's the other thing. Let me ask you this. Would this be a needle mover? All right, I'm throwing this at you. You don't even know what I'm about to say because this just came out. This is on SEScoops.com from the MMA Hour Ariel Helwani. Becky Lynch says she only has 2 months left in her contract, and they haven't come to her yet about extension. What do you think of that?
That could be true.
What do you think of that?
That could be true. But what are you talking about? A needle mover?
Well, what if she says I want to go reignite? I want 2 of the 4 horsewomen to be over, and all. I want them to be all elite.
Think about this. Just think about this for 1 minute. Just think about this.
I'm thinking about it.
No. Think about this 1 minute. All the major talent that jumped ship from WWE to WCW, it only lasted for 83 weeks. All that major talent. Then the company closed down.
Yeah.
Not, soon after that.
Yeah.
All of that major talent that went over did not move the needle. Okay? I know Vince Russo said the ratings were up when he was running the show and whatnot, but, well, damn it, we didn't beat WWE but 83 weeks. That was it.
Right.
And we talking about Hogan, Hall, Nash, and every other, guy who was, sitting at home that they could hire, that they could find. All right? So I'm talking about Bret Hart. All right? I mean, all the major guns. So for me, I don't see one person going to a company and making the company that much bigger and that much better. I think that happens within. I think the brand needs to work on really creating the brand as far as being the motivating factor for people watching, not the wrestling and not just the stars. I could be wrong.
So you're saying that no one star can come in and change the trajectory of AEW? At least no star that you see right now. Because think about the big names that they have had.
Just think about it. If The Rock went over to AEW,
well, that would make make a difference.
It would make a difference.
Yeah.
But for how long?
That's a good point.
For how long?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Because people are quick to say, "Oh, The Rock's too old." You know what I mean? But they'll take him in a heartbeat, and he'll move the needle. But the thing is, how many people are going to want to watch him over there? Could that be it? How many people want to watch Mercedes Moné in AEW? How many people want to see that? I'm not saying people don't want to see it, but I'm just saying how many people would love to see her back in the WWE.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Nothing against AEW, but like I say, she was born and bred in the WWE.
Right. Well, it's like when one of your big members of your team, like if it's the Rockets or the Astros or whatever, when they move on to a different team, do you go like when George Springer left the Astros? Did you watch him in the Blue Jays? When Hakeem went to the Raptors.
I don't even remember Hakeem playing with the Raptors.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly my point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly my point.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you.
I think that's got a lot to do with it. I really do, and it's no knock against Monet or anybody or anything like that. But I'm used to seeing you here. It's different. It's just like, say, for instance, I could take Samoa Joe working in ROH because that's where he come from.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. There's actually a part of the quote-unquote tribalism conversation that I don't think it actually gets talked about because the thing is, people are like, well, if you're a fan of wrestling, you should watch all wrestling or support all wrestling, which is true, and I get the sentiment. We shouldn't have tribalism, which I agree with, but if we use it to a sports analogy, like you like basketball, right, Book?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you watch all the games with all the teams?
No.
You watch maybe the games with your team, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's just kind of what it comes down to. If you're
I like the guys on my team the most.
You like your guys on your team the most because they're on your team.
Yes.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense, and I don't know why no one ever talks about that.
I just don't think anybody,
I've never heard this conversation ever.
I don't think anybody's just looked at it from that perspective. And like I say, that's why, it's great conversation because it's great conversation for us because I don't want people to look at us as trying to knock anybody.
No.
We're just trying to figure out, why things are happening the way they're happening more than anything because these are big names. Edge, Christian.
At one time, CM Punk.
I mean,
Bryan Danielson, John Moxley.
These are big names.
Sting, Jericho.
But like I said, I really don't think that's going to. And the thing is, John Moxley, you used to seeing him in WWE.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of people first saw John
That's
Moxley,
where I first saw him.
In the WWE, and then the name change.
Yeah. But that's always something.
But that too kind of
makes
it a little bit different.
Yeah, who's John Moxley?
Exactly. So
yeah, it's like who's Adam. Like some people might actually not know who Adam Copeland is. Now I'm sure if you're a WWE fan or you're a fan, you know the Rated R Superstar. You know who that is. But I understand what you're saying. And again, this is a really interesting part of the conversation that's I've never heard anybody talk about. So you're saying Becky Lynch or whomever it might be, they would have an impact, but for how long?
They're going to have an impact, but I mean,
and I don't see Becky leaving. I'm just
there again, nothing against AEW. Like I said, I wish I had a company like AEW, but there again, as far as the way the storyboard goes, a lot of guys go to AEW and then they get lost in the shuffle. They get totally mixed up as far as what their role on the show is going to be. You see guys leave from with a big buzz, and then they go over there and then a faction. Just think about it. You remember Kyle O'Reilly?
Yes.
You know what I mean? He left with a lot of buzz.
Yes.
He went to AEW.
Yeah.
I think he broke his neck.
Something happened.
Something like that, and no more buzz. They're going to bring him back, but is that buzz going to be the same when he left? And then I look at Adam Cole. Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
How big was Adam Cole?
Huge. I mean, he was
the guy.
Yeah.
In NXT and touted to be perhaps the next Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And you know who touted him as that?
Who?
Me. I'm the one who touted him as that. We got to take a break, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame, man. We'll be back in a minute.
You're listening to ESPN 97.5. This is the Hall of Fame.
On ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Live from Las Vegas, here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Ship. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Coming to you live from the MGM Grand and Hotel and Casino. Getting ready for a big fight going down this weekend. PBC presents Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian, the Towering Inferno.
Oh, yeah.
Fandom, as well as Rolando Roller Romero taking on the Isak Pitbull Cruz in the co-main event. I tell you, both of these fights could be candidates for Fight of the Year. So, guys, don't miss out. Don't get shut out. It's going down live at the T-Mobile Arena. So, boom, get your ticket.
So, we were talking about bringing over people from WWE to AEW. Would they be a needle mover? And then you start talking about all the guys that WCW brought over, and that being kind of the downfall in some ways, or it helped for a little while, and then eventually you're paying all these guys, and you have too much salary, too much talent, too much everything. Well, you know what? There's somebody who kind of shares your opinion on that, and I have a clip. Can we play the clip?
Yeah.
We have a clip. This is actually Tony Khan talking about WCW, but I want you to hear this, and then we can react to it. Go ahead and play that clip, Austin, if you have.
If you look at the problems, you asked me earlier about WCW, if you look at problems that led to possibly what the demise of WCW was, I think one of the major issues was that they had a very large roster with a lot of people making a lot of money, and a lot of those people were really good. If you were just to try to chop down the WCW roster, you'd be making some really tough decisions and say because there were so many people across the board that were really good, but you can't pay every talented person in the business $100,000. Your company will go under quick because you won't have enough revenue to offset what you're paying out. So you have to make smart decisions, and you can't hire every person you like, and you can't hire every person that you think is good, because there's a lot of really, really good talent.
Okay, appreciate that, Austin. So that's Tony Khan talking about kind of what helped lead WCW to being out of business. It sounds kind of strange, right? It sounds a little familiar.
It sounds like he's not the boss of AEW. That's what it sounds like to me. No, it sounds like a guy that's not spending a whole lot of money on talent, and just from the census reports, he's paying a boatload of money to a lot of talent on that roster, and the thing is, $100,000 is almost like the minimum that he's paying a lot of those guys over there. My thing is, he said it right. Right. He hit it right on the head as far as what WCW was doing. I was there. I saw a lot of guys.
Do you agree with that?
No. I agree with it in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways, I disagree with it just because it would have been easily to cut. Excuse me. It would have been easy to cut a lot of that talent on that roster because a lot of them was just sitting at home. A lot of those guys had passed their expiration date. A lot of those guys were on the roster just because WCW did not want them to actually go back to WWF. I really feel like at that point in time, I don't think Tony Khan is doing this, but I do feel like back at that time, WCW was trying to corner the market on talent. Okay, they were trying to get everybody under that umbrella so those guys would not be competing against them. Is that a winning strategy? I don't think so. Me personally, having a lot of guys on the roster, just say for instance, Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, Phantom of the Opera. If they had 100 people in the cast, in New York City, it wouldn't be the same if they just had their 12 or whatever doing that show. Of course, they could backload it and they could put a whole bunch of guys on the show. But is that going to make the show better? Just like with AEW, we got a lot of talent in AEW, a plethora of talent, but a lot of them we don't see, and a lot of them we don't know. And then a lot of them, just say, for instance, we can actually see them, but do we look at them as stars? Somebody that I cannot wait to see next week. That's what I'm talking about. I think that's a problem. I really do.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with AEW and what they're going to do with the talent roster, because their talent roster is very full. They do have a lot of top names, paying them a lot of money. We talked about Okada's alleged salary. Who knows? Mercedes Moné said she needed a big bag, to come over to any place.
Punk,
had a lot of money at that time, and I know they had to probably finish paying out some of his contract until, he got let go. Edge and Christian, Edge.
MJF.
They're all making money. Jericho. I mean, it's a lot of money, man. And I'm not saying, look, Tony Khan's got a lot of money. Don't make a mistake. So did Ted Turner.
Well, I think Ted Turner and Tony Khan, it's like night and day, actually. To be honest. Tony Khan has a bag that he can, keep going in until he gets tired of doing it. This may not be a business venture for Tony Khan. I don't know.
Yeah.
This could be something that he had on his bucket list as far as him being a promoter in the wrestling business. I don't know how long. I don't know how long a company can sustain at that pace right there. Because me personally, I don't know. I haven't seen any of the books or anything like that. But I would be hard pressed to think that company has made any money over the last 5 years. I could be wrong.
And again, I think some people are going to listen to this and think that we're talking negatively about AEW, which some things are critical, but I wouldn't say none of it is negative. Any of it is negative. Excuse my grammar. But Eric Bischoff, who ran WCW, who I think that clip from Tony, you could say, was in some ways directed at Eric, because Eric had a lot of those decisions, right? He brought a lot of the guys in for the money. Hall, Nash, Hogan, Macho, Brett, Lex, all those guys.
Yes.
Right? So Eric Bischoff announced earlier this week, or earlier today perhaps, that one of his podcasts, he has two, is going away.
Strictly Business, right?
Strictly Business. And Tony Khan responded to this. We actually share a podcast home with Eric and his shows, a podcast heat. But Tony Khan responded to this and said, sunsetting this fraud of a business podcast before the next AEW media deal is a wise choice. Sunsetting meaning like getting rid of it, right? He's saying it's a fraud of a podcast, to which Eric Bischoff responded and then said, God, they're really going at each other. I don't even know if we should get into this mess, but here we go. Eric Bischoff said, a money mark with no talent other than spending daddy's money, going all the way to Canada to draw less than 4,000 people in one of the hottest pro wrestling markets in North America, is talking about wise choices. Strap in, it's going to be a fun day. These two continue to go after it. Now, Eric, all this does is help Eric Bischoff. It gives him content to talk about.
Yeah.
But Tony's got to stay off X, man.
Bro,
We've said it a million times.
That was a layup for Eric Bischoff right there. I mean, you take that free throw right there, and he did a week. Because I don't think him announcing that his show was going to be, he's not going to be doing his show was warranted a comment for Tony.
You know what? I saw it. I was like, okay, cool.
I saw it. That's the same thing I did too. I was like, oh, I guess he's still got his other podcast.
He's got his other one, so
yeah. But no, man, that's real beef right there between two guys who have who's coming from an executive position. Both of those guys have run major companies. Both of those guys have been part of having to wrangle a bunch of talent. One thing about Eric Bischoff, he wasn't trying to write the show and create the show and do everything. He had people working with him as far as that goes. But nah, man, that war right there, that's something that's going to go on for quite some time. I don't see that ending anytime soon. The only way I see that ending is Tony Khan hire Eric Bischoff as a consultant.
But Eric did a couple shots for him. He did a couple appearances.
Yeah. Look, if MSNBC can hire Ronald McDaniel, they can fire. They can hire Eric Bischoff.
AEW can.
Yeah.
Let me ask you: how do you see this fight on Saturday night ending? The two fights.
Oh man,
co-main and main event.
I tell you, man. I tell you what. The odds are heavily in favor of Tim Tszyu, which makes me want to go out and put down a bet of Sebastian Fandura, just because I do feel like Sebastian Fandura has more than just a chance at winning this fight. He has equal opportunity at going out there and winning this fight. I really believe that. I think the size difference is going to come into play at some form in this fight in favor of Sebastian Fandura. If he could just stay out of the way of getting caught with a big shot, this fight could easily go his way, and he can walk away the new champion, as well as the co-main event, Rolando Romero taking on Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Like I said, we saw what I think the first fight I ever saw Tank Davis in the first real fight was with Isaac Pitbull Cruz. I did not see that little guy going in there and fighting the way he did. The cards perhaps should have been a lot closer than they actually was. In that fight, Tank didn't come nowhere near knocking Isaac Pitbull Cruz out or even knocking him down in that fight. So Rolly Romero got a hell of a shot. He got a hell of a punch. But I really feel like Isaac Pitbull Cruz is going to win that fight. I don't know what the odds is on that fight, but I might want to throw a little wager down on that one as well, because I do feel like both of the guys that I just talked about will walk away the victor on Saturday night.
Well, we're going to find out what happens, and we'll be back tomorrow to talk more in the Hall of Fame. But here's the thing, Book. There's something controversial out there that we didn't cover today that I've been wanting to talk to you about.
What?
Bleacher Report released a list, and I think they're only up to 21 right now, of the top 50 WWE superstars of all time. And your number's already been revealed, and I want to get into it maybe tomorrow.
I'm on the list.
You're on the list.
I'm on the list.
You're on the list.
Okay.
And here's the thing. I won't tell the people, because they'll have to tune in tomorrow, what number you are, but I'll tell you this. The person before you is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat,
wow.
And the person after you is Jake the Snake Roberts.
Wow, man, I'm in good company.
You're in good company. So we'll talk about what number it is. But I'm going to tell you right now,
damn it, if I'm not top 5, we're going to have a damn problem. We're going to have a damn problem, because, look, I've been doing this thing, and I've been telling everybody, look, I'm top 5 in the world, man. So if I'm not top 5, Brad, I'm whooping your ass. It's going to be a fight.
Well, then we ain't talking about it.
Nah, man. Want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams, man. Want to thank Brad, as always, for the heavy lifting. And until next time, guys, peace. We love you, and we out. Oh, yes.
Listening to ESPN 97.5.
The Ed Milet Show showcases the greatest peak performers sharing their journey, knowledge, and thought leadership.
This is one of the all-time best pieces of advice ever given on the show.
Actor Rainn Wilson.
The number one thing that psychologists point to with young people of why they are struggling so much in this mental health epidemic is they don't have resilience. So how do you build resilience if you don't understand suffering itself?
The Ed Milet Show is available on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Hi there. Sorry for the interruption, but are you enjoying this show on Google Podcasts? You should know that the Google Podcasts app is going away this spring. That's right, going away, gone as in no longer available. You can still enjoy this show elsewhere though. Try out Spotify or Amazon Music, or maybe TuneIn is more your style. Whatever app you switch to, be sure to follow so you never miss the next episode. And thanks for listening, wherever you listen.